Welcome to LoveBytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites.
Oh God, welcome to LoveBytes. That intro, every time, man. Every time the intro kills me. Welcome to LoveBytes, the show where we debug your romance or whatever. And this is our guest, bFergustus. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am good. So we've called you on here because you are the reported expert in the Northern Himalayas on love advice, right?
No.
No?
I have no qualifications on love advice, other than I guess I've been with my girlfriend for 11 years, so
Okay.
I kind of know how to keep a relationship together.
So you've got
At least one relationship.
You've got like experience in
Yes.
this, but you don't have a degree.
No.
You don't have like basically, if we tell them to do something horrible, they can't sue us, right? That's what we're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I wouldn't follow my advice.
I wouldn't follow my advice either. Anyway, let's start with the first question that we've got here. Dear LoveBytes, I am currently dating someone truly love. I truly love, I take it. For some reason, he keeps joking around about dropping out of school and not having a job at the moment, even though he knows it hurts me. We end up fighting a lot, and I can't get myself to hate him. How can we resolve this situation?
Ooh. This is very yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to love someone who doesn't really love themselves and have like motivation in life to like be something greater than themselves. And like what type of school? Like high school, I would guess.
This is all I've got, but I'm guessing high school or college.
Okay. Yeah, you got to kind of, I don't know, see schooling as just like a stepping stone to making you a better person, not necessarily to like, and it's just about improving yourself. And I mean, if someone wants to keep growing in their life, you have to be willing to grow alongside them, or else you're going to get left behind. You know?
Yeah.
And if he's not willing to continue to improve himself and he wants to just give up, then yeah, I can see why she would be kind of concerned. That doesn't mean she has to give up on him, though. Just like try to get him motivated again and see things maybe in a more positive light about life in general.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys really need to discuss your expectations and get your futures kind of in focus, so you kind of know what to expect out of each other going forward. Because if he's joking about you dropping out of school, and you're like, that's really not something I want to do, you need to like make sure that you both are aligned in some way for what you're going for. Or else,
Yeah.
as Brian said, how are you going to grow?
And it's more of like a friendship style thing than like a lover style problem, right? It's like maybe he just needs some friendly advice that, you know, he can get from any type of friend, but I mean, you got to be his friend too.
Yeah. So, next question. Hello, Neil and guest. I have a question/problem that might be somewhat silly, but I thought I might as well ask anyway. There's this girl I like, and I mean really like. Me and her used to go out in high school, which was 3 years ago, and have since kept contact as good as can be expected when two people live across the world from each other. She lives in Thailand, I live in Sweden. Now, she recently moved home, and I've been trying to hang out with her. However, she agreed to meet up a few times, but then gave me different excuses very close to our meet several times. We used to be close, and we could talk about everything, but it feels like she's keeping things from me. I've asked her about it, but she keeps avoiding the subject when we talk, texting and stuff, not actually in person, and not in-person conversations. Am I dumb and can't see that she just isn't interested anymore, or could there be more to the situation? I'd like to just hang out as we used to and be great friends, even if this is not on a relationship level, and I've told her this in our conversations. Help a fella out. If nothing else, I'd like to help her with whatever problem she's got, even if she just isn't interested in loving me anymore. Advice?
Well, I mean, he dated her in high school, so it's been a while. I mean, logically, it's probably safe to assume if she's worth going after, she might have found someone else. But I mean, that's kind of ancillary to the point of she wants to tell him something and like keep stringing him along, kind of. While at the same time, if he wants to come out and meet up, and then she says no, it's kind of messed up. But at the same time, it's like she just wants to make people happy. So that's a good trait to have in someone. That doesn't make her necessarily a bad person. She just might not know what to do with the situation. Maybe she likes more than one person, or maybe she's just doesn't like how he's handling the situation, and maybe she feels like him questioning her shows that he's insecure. So it's like you don't want to come off as insecure, but you do want to know what's going on. It's really tricky.
Yeah. I mean, if someone moved away out of the country for 3 years and came back, that's a lot of change that someone's going to go through. You know, they may feel very differently about the way that you guys used to hang out. I mean, not that they didn't like it, but their expectations for how to socialize may have changed, or their interests may have shifted more. I know you guys kept in touch, but 3 years is a long time overseas. You know, a lot can happen, and maybe they just need to learn how to readjust to you. It's one of those touchy, or not touchy things, but it's one of those things that's really hard to measure, I would say. It's kind of very situational.
Yeah, and I would just like kind of refrain from bringing accusatory remarks into the conversation, if at all possible, because like if she did see someone else, and would that really affect your desire to get back with her? I mean, if you really love her, you would understand you've been a while or apart for a while, and you should be able to get over that and understand that. But yeah.
Yeah. That just be more straightforward and clear, and try and work around her whatever differences you might have come up across. I think you'll be all right. All right.
Yeah, just more talking.
Yeah. Communication solves everything. Okay. Hello, Neil and guest. I have an issue I need some advice on. I am currently in high school, a junior, and there is a rumor about myself that is going around. I played football, and after practice, everyone takes a shower, and some people in my class caught a glimpse of my, well, whatever. This was not a problem until my freshman year when some guys started telling girls, and it soon spread like wildfire. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Sounds like big, long troll.
Even if it is a troll, I'd like to take it.
This is pretty good. I'll send it to you, but we're not going to go through it.
Okay. Oh man, because I had a guy I went to middle school and high school with. I'm not gonna mention his name because I never had any problems with him. He was a jock. He went with a different group of kids to me, and he got made fun of because other people saw his wang, and they started calling him corkscrew. And I mean that's just unfortunate. But if you say it's a troll,
I think it's if it's not, if this is no, it's totally a troll.
But yeah, I mean that sucks. But I think if there's a question about your junk, and people are making fun of it, either like you need to confront it straight up, or maybe your junk is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's doctors and shit. You can get that fixed.
Yeah, and people are stupid. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's rule number one.
God, I really hope that was a troll. Okay, moving on. Holy shit. So there's this chick I want to date. We became friends for a bit, and I asked her out after a few weeks. She said yes. So we go on a date to Paneria. Everything's going well until I excuse myself to take a piss, walk back to her, and she screams and run away. Wow. We have not had this many trolls in a while, actually. Wonder what's happened. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, it's going to be a little bit longer on the reading side. In junior high school, I have an interesting problem, and I'm in junior high school, and I have an interesting problem I can't figure out. I used to pride myself on being able to interact and talk with almost anyone I meet. One example of this is when I was in second grade. There was a girl in my grade who never asked a single word to anyone because she was so shy. So I would talk to her every day and try and make her laugh and smile, which seemed to make her happier. Teaching staff noticed, directed it to my parents, and it made me feel good. This type of approach has pretty much changed when I hit high school. Since freshman year, I'm much less engaging in conversation. I'm always overanalyzing everything and basically play out the conversation I would start with somebody in my head before actually starting it, which makes it whatever I'm going to say seem redundant and useless in my brain. Like asking if someone's going to see a new movie, or if they think the next COD is going to suck, which it will. These all have obvious answers to me, and I don't want to see the value in talking about that kind of stuff if it doesn't bring any information I didn't already have. It seems that there's only a select few people I would feel interested in topics and I always think about, which is games and nerdy things, like stressing when the next roleplay solemn will be. I can still talk to anyone about random stuff, but I'm never the one to bring up topics. It doesn't change my ability to have an input on conversations about tits and ass and weird high school stuff people like to talk about or whatever. I can literally talk about anything as long as I'm not handling the conversation, so to speak, and I'm always the wingman in a sense. There are times when I'm walking down the hall with friends or driving to a place with people and I'll be dead silent because I can't think of anything to bring up conversation. What the hell is wrong with me? This directly affects my ability to interact with the ladies and as a young nerdling because there's probably a slim chance a girl would want to talk to me about D&D or the next lol patches. As a note, this is not because I'm shy towards people. I've never had any problems talking to any person, boy or girl, but I genuinely think any topic I create to talk about is boring and not worthwhile. So my question is, how do I either think of mutually interesting topics or convince myself that my problem isn't actually a problem and I just need to talk about to people and stop becoming antisocial? Also, did you or your guest have the same problem, or am I just weird? P.S. I'm tried my best to use my best grammar, and sorry for the length. I really couldn't explain myself clearly enough without fully fleshing out the situation. Whew.
That question actually reminds me a lot of myself. So the root of this problem, I believe, is caused by a concept called hyperconsciousness, and this is where you spend so much time thinking about things and thinking about your own thoughts that you don't even spend any time actually doing anything. And you need to overcome that. That's actually a problem that a lot of fairly smart people have, is they just spend too much time thinking and not enough time doing. I've personally had that problem a lot. And when it comes to relationships and like socializing with girls and whatnot, personally, before I met Maggie, I was in a pretty dark period in my life. And I just figured, hey, I mean, no, I'm not going to go into the details of how dark it was, but basically, I thought I wasn't going to get with anyone in my life, and it was just going to be horrible and whatever. But then I see Maggie, and I'm just like, holy crap, I need to do anything I can do to talk with her, and I'm just going to put it all on the line. I don't care anymore that I'm going all in. And I think as long as you recognize when you need to go all in, you'll be fine. Not in the creepy way, though.
Yeah. Your problem, my friend, is the problem of everyone in high school. From my perspective, everyone I've ever known, all my high school friends had this issue. I had this issue. All of Twitch chat is saying they had this issue. I think, welcome to high school, buddy. Enjoy your stay. You can get through it, but it's hard. I didn't do very well in high school. I bombed out with this issue. It took me until college to really get anywhere with it. I wish you the best of luck. Prepare for the times ahead, but know that you're completely normal and totally fine, and everyone else has this issue. If you can just push it away out of your mind, be like, you know what? And if you can just pretend it's not there, you'll be fine. The best advice I've ever been given in my entire life was by my martial arts instructor back in back in high school, and he said, "Fake it till you make it." And literally, whatever you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, just pretend you do. It may seem to you like you're ridiculous, but you're probably actually doing quite fine. Just fake it until you make it.
A similar vein, my dad actually gave me some really solid advice lately. He went to school to be a pilot in the Air Force, and he's been a pilot for like 40 years now. Crazy experience, but whenever he was first taking his flight test, he would get stressed out as all crazy hell, and his friends had to like sit him down and tell him like, hey, it doesn't matter how you feel about this. What's going to happen will happen the way it's meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So worrying about it is completely pointless. Just calm down and do your best.
Yeah.
And I think that's solid.
That's perfect. That's exactly yeah. Your dad's a smart man. Do you think there's anything else we can do with this one, or should we move on?
I think he's got a lot to play with now.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Hey, so I have a request, and I suppose it's an unusual one. I would like to come on Love Bites to talk about a specific love bite. I guess this is something for me for later. I will take a look at that in private. Dear Koibu-kun and guest, this is a story of a guy, me, and a girl. Some years ago, we met, hung out, and fooled around with some feelings involved. Eventually, it was time to go off to college, and we went to separate colleges that were far from home. As college went on, contact between us lessened, and I have not seen her in 2 years, and I've not spoken to her in a year. I'll be finishing up school in December, and she'll be finishing up in the following spring. From what I can tell, we will be both back in our hometown after college. How should I go about reconnecting with her and expressing that I still have feelings for her? Thanks.
Well, but what kind of communication method were you using before? Were you texting her, talking with her on Facebook? Like, I'd go through those normal means, or maybe if you still have her phone number, try to hit that up. Just try not to be too overbearing. I mean, you haven't talked with her in 4 years now. Like extensively talked with, like as a friend. I mean, you went to separate colleges, right? So
Yeah,
it's been a while. You kind of got to ease yourself back into that relationship, even as just a friend.
Yeah. It might be nice if you have other people that are getting back from college. It might be nice to throw a summertime, hey everyone, we just graduated college, now we're all back in the hometown together thing. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but you could create a social group where you get a chance to connect with all of your college or all of your former friends who've gone to college and are now back in town. And that way you'll have a chance to meet her and be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. And in that setting, it's very natural for you guys to get back together. And then you can also meet up with all your other friends. Something like that would be a...
That sounds a lot more healthy, too. And then, yeah, if she doesn't show up, maybe there's another cute girl that sparks your interest there. That sounds like a better idea.
Or maybe if she doesn't show up and gives you a reason why, you'll kind of figure out how things are going. You know?
Yeah.
You'll get information from this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one. Dear Mr. Koibu, what are your thoughts about the age difference in a relationship? I have a friend who is 26 who is dating a girl who is 20. They've been dating for 2 years now and first met when she was 18. They've been getting a lot of hate from her friends and family, mostly because of the age difference. What is an acceptable age difference? Is it okay as long as both parties are mature and responsible, or is there a serious problem? Is an age difference more acceptable when you are older than when you are younger? What about What about if one of the people in the relationship is under 18? Thanks. Ooh.
How I personally feel about this is if the numbers look weird together, then it's too big of an age difference. But I don't think 20 and 26 is too big of an age difference. I just think that sounds perfectly normal.
Yeah.
But that does violate the half age
plus 7?
It doesn't violate the half age plus 7 rule. No, you're good to go. It's right on that.
It's right on. Earlier, when he was 24 and she was 18, that would have been a problem. But now we're good. Yeah, ages are, outside of legally speaking, ages are the sort of thing where you can't really set a rule for it. Like, you can have people who are too young or too old. Age is weird. Age is sometimes important, but other times not important at all.
There's a movie on Netflix that I watched, interesting, called I think it's Is Every Man a Pedophile? And it goes into explaining how what you perceive as attractive doesn't really change as you get older. It only expands. And what you prefer does normally change. But yeah, it's perfectly normal to find younger people attractive. So persecuting them for that is kind of fucked up. And I don't do it.
Yeah.
People love who they love.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, adults abusing children, I think we're good to go. And it doesn't sound like that's the case here.
Yeah, and if you have a situation where someone's 17 and the other person's older, I think it gets really weird if someone's under 18 and the other person's 4 or 5 or 6 years older. But if it's they share a class together, or they're in school together, or they have some sort of personal connection where they were known each other for a while, then it makes sense. But if you're 17 and then you met some person at this place and that person's 28 and now you're dating without having known each other beforehand, that's what's creepy. That's what's weird when you're at that young of an age.
As long as it's not like this 20-something dude is hanging out at high school trying to pick up chicks.
Right.
There's a lot of places for people to meet normally, like how you highlighted. So
yeah, I when I was 20, I was dating a girl who was 17, but we had known each other for a long time, and I was close with her parents. We would hang out at her house all the time, and she was only 17 for a short period of our relationship. But you can do that sort of thing as long as it's a safe space. Anyway, moving on. Hey Neil, I've been waiting for a moment to ask this question or to seek some advice, and since this came up, I figured it was a good time. There's this girl that I've met at the start of a year on a camp. She has been friends with my brother for 5 years or so, and I guess it wasn't me meeting her since I saw her around that place often. Anyway, we started talking late last year and started to get to know each other. The more we talked, the more we found out we had many things in common with each other. So we went on this camp, and just so happened she was there too. I was in need of someone at that certain point in time and had been asking for someone like her to turn up. I'm religious, so I believe this can happen and will happen. We spent almost every hour of the camp together, and we went on romantic canoe rides together along the river, and I bought her ice cream on a hot afternoon, and so on. When this camp was over, we had to chat. We had a chat with each other, and we worked out that we really liked each other, but weren't sure if we should see each other because we both have had some bad experiences in relationships before. We decided to stay friends with a benefit or two. A few months later, March 3rd, I think was the exact date, when we just kind of stopped talking to each other. She said she had an exam to work on and didn't have much time to talk. She kept making excuses for not being able to talk to me and see me. I then found out a week later that she had a boyfriend that she was keeping from me. I'm not sure how long she had been dating, but I don't think it was. But I know she was single when we met. What advice do you have for me? I haven't heard from her in ages, but I'm afraid to call or text her. I'm not even sure if she's still dating her boyfriend, but I still really like her and I don't know what to do. Please help.
Well, there's that old adage like, well, she's going to cheat on her boyfriend, she's going to cheat on you. But I don't think that's necessarily true. Especially if her boyfriend isn't even in like the same tier as you as far as like what you offer to her. Like maybe she's more interested in you and you like have a better career and you have all these things going for you. And you're just the better choice overall, but still you have to make her fully interested in you. And that means you have to not only like try to do things with her, but also engage in like conversation that's shows that you're interested in her, because that's the number one way to make people interested and crazy about you is being as interested as possible about them. And they won't even know this is going on. It's just classic psychology. But I lost my train of thought.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a good time together. You decided not to get together, but you want to be friends and maybe fool around on the side. And then things kind of degrade a little bit, and she finds a boyfriend. Doesn't necessarily tell you about it, and you guys just don't end up seeing each other that much.
And just because she has a boyfriend and she's keeping it from you doesn't mean like she wants to be dishonest with you. Maybe she wanted to break it off with that dude so that she could get with you. Like I think there's a lot more positive ways to see the situation than negative if you really are open-minded to her situation. Because from her situation, she's got two guys that are really interested in her, and she has to like kind of pick between them, right? I mean, maybe she wanted more time, and it's really easy for humans to just sit there and be indecisive, and yes, it's like stringing you along, and it's stringing the other guy along too, because he probably doesn't know about you. But I don't know. I would, if you're really interested in her and you can get over that fact, which if you like really love her, I think you can, because it's not a big deal if you really think about it from her perspective. And if you were in the same situation, would you be as noble as you're expecting of her? Probably not.
That's a really good point. It's not something that gets brought up as often as it should.
Yeah, but I would just try to contact her again. And I mean, how did you find out about this other dude? Like,
what was it? Then I found out a week later that she had a boyfriend that she was keeping. So I guess someone must have told him.
Okay.
I mean, there are a lot of possibilities. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just talk with her more. I mean, like I said, if you really want to hit it off with her and keep it rolling, just keep talking with her. And I mean, that's something you're going to have to work through and completely smash if you want your relationship to move forward.
Yeah. Better communication. And even if this doesn't go well, sometimes that just happens. people sometimes just don't grow together. They sometimes grow apart. But as we said before, like, there are a lot of ways to look at this.
Yeah, it does sound like you felt it was mutual, though. And if that's truly the feeling, then he should probably pursue it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might have just been something where she grew apart for a short period of time, and you can regrow that connection. I think you'll be fine. Next question. Dear LoveBytes, I am a male sophomore in high school and have encountered some girl troubles. She and I were in early relationship stage, and I have been close friends since 8th grade. Now she refuses to talk to me. I think I went too far with the physical flirtation and groping, but it's been a week and she still won't talk to me. She means the world to me and has been the shining light in my eyes in times of despair. The worst part about it is I cannot figure out for certain why she would be so pissed with me for so long. The day it started when we were cuddling in the library and poking each other. She's also some groping, which isn't uncommon, and annoying. And annoying another friend of mine at lunch. The next time I saw her, 6th period, she ignored me and left class in a hurry. Concerned, I texted her, "Hey, is everything all right?" To which she responded with, "IDK, maybe you're a fucking ... Don't talk to me." And she hasn't said a word to me since. So my question is, how can I get her to talk to me, or at least help me find out what I did? By the way, of asking her friends about it, by the way, asking her friends about it would be fruitless. All of her friends are also mine, and I know both of us don't want them involved. P.S. Sorry for the lacking vocabulary and grammatical errors. I assume there are some. I have difficulties writing when the subject matter involves personal dilemmas, and I also hope this is postscript. Okay. Well, I would start with the obvious here. You said you felt like you went a little bit far in the physical flirting, as you're calling it. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he felt like he went a little bit far. He probably went a lot of bit far.
Yeah, really, dude. What are you doing, man? You need to.
You have to say sorry a lot and try to reestablish your friendship before you can reestablish your relationship. It sounds like you made her pretty pissed off.
Yeah, bad boy, very bad boy. This.
Not unsalvageable, but he needs to apologize a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope I hope this did not go too far. I mean, clearly, you're writing this... By the way that you're talking, it doesn't sound like things are at, serious issues, but seriously, like, you have to have concern for other people's space. You can't just be poking at things when people aren't ready for you to be poking at.
Exactly.
That's a serious violation of trust, and kind of like some civil liberties in here. Like, if you were older and did that same thing, that's kind of like a jailable offense, buddy. I mean, we're laughing out of nervousness here. This is not like actually that funny. Chill out, dude.
It's funny just because stumbling through that stuff sucks. I know. But...
Yeah, it just... You need to take
respect is huge.
You need to take a few steps back and make sure that whatever you're interested in doing with other people, they're interested in doing with you before you just go for it. Okay?
It'll make everything better too, because whenever they're attacking you as fiercely as you're attacking them, whew, much hotter.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else on this topic.
No.
I please hope you take our advice to heart on that one, though. Okay, here we go. I am a 26-year-old male in a 2-year relationship and very happy. I love my girlfriend a lot, and I'm sure she's the one for me. But this weekend, I met my ex from 7 years ago. She was my first girlfriend at a party, and we ended up sharing the couch for the night. No sex, but cuddling happened in the whole night through, including a bit of touching, hand-holding. When she fell asleep, she slept in my arm, head on my chest. It felt wrong, it felt right, it felt familiar, and I wanted more. I didn't go for it, but I wanted it. Today I have no feelings, emotions for my ex. I don't want her back. So here's the thing. I never did something like this before. I look down on cheating boys and girls and condemn them for their weakness. Some might argue it's not that much happened. Get over it and don't do it again. But I considered myself to be a better man, honest and true. It was way too easy to crush this principle of mine. I lost trust in myself. How can I ask my girlfriend to trust me if I don't trust myself? Do I tell her? How can I swear to never do this again when I already thought I would never do it and did it? How did I get this weak? I do have all I want and all I can dream of. I don't need this. Do I? Best regards, Anonymous.
Well, I think if his relationship with his current girlfriend is all that he's cracking it up to be, it's super awesome, it's everything he ever wants, then she should be awesome enough to understand that he was hella confused and he just cuddled with her, right? Was there kissing? Was it
Let's
what
see. We
kind
ended
of
up
touching?
sharing the couch for a night. No
But I
sex, but
mean,
cuddling happened the whole night, including a bit of touching, hand holding, and when she fell asleep, she cuddled with him.
yeah, it sounds like soft, but nothing too heavy. But still, it's fucked up. It's bad that he did that, right? But he didn't do anything too bad. He knows it was bad, and I think honestly he should tell her and try to get past it, beg for forgiveness, do whatever he has to do. I mean, the way that he worded that to us sounds like he truly loves his current girlfriend and he feels bad, like he fucked up and made a mistake.
I would
People make mistakes.
Yeah. I would actually just forward her this email. This seems like a very honest
Yeah.
portrayal of the situation. You know, because you can overthink things when you're like, okay, how am I going to explain this? And you try and explain it, and then you end up explaining it in a way that tries to shine in a good light, but then she sees that and gets even more upset. Like,
Right.
just be completely honest, like you are here. You
And-
just presented the facts. They seem very straightforward, and I would do the same thing. Just
And
forward.
honestly, he's in a very lucky situation because if his current girlfriend freaks out and is all mad and leaves him, he's got his old girlfriend to go back to.
This is true. This is true. I mean,
So,
you
He's
can't
got
go
nothing
wrong.
to worry about in the grand scheme of things. He's set, man.
You can't go wrong, buddy.
Yeah, but he can't let that go to his head at all when he's talking to his current girlfriend, or else
No.
it will just ruin everything.
No.
Really focus on that, man.
Yeah.
Make your current girlfriend happy. Treat her like a queen.
Yeah. Just I would also ask myself, you know, why is it that you ended up cuddling with this person? You know, you might want to do some introspection on why you were so comfortable and easy letting that slip. And how would you feel if the same thing happened to your significant other? Like, if she did that sort of thing, and how would you feel with that? And how does that reflect on how you think your relationship might be, or where its state might be currently? There's some stuff you can look at in here. Might be fun. All right, next question. Hey, Maggie and Koibu. This is one of the ones we didn't get to last week. I've been in a long-distance relationship now for almost 2 years. I'm in West Virginia and she's in the Philippines. I visited her twice now, and things were amazing. Madly in love, we already did this one. Oops, yeah, we already answered that. My bad. Here we go. Hello, I'm a guy in my early 20s and I've known a girl for roughly 16 months. When we first met, we seemed to get along, but it was always a little awkward between us. After knowing each other for probably 5 to 6 months, we've been hanging with friends together, and at one point when we were always alone, or at one point where we were alone and about to part ways, I asked her if she wanted to go on a date. I didn't suggest any details. Her answer was sort of yes, but nothing was ever really planned, and nothing came of it. 2 to 3 months later, she left the country for her education, and we kept in contact over the internet somewhat. Over the years she was gone, she came back over Christmas, and our friends went out for a meal where there were 2 couples, then me and her, and it felt kind of like we were supposed to be on a couple, but my friend and I have always told me I should go with her. There's no doubt that I like this girl and want to pursue a relationship to her to see where it can lead, and we have a lot of similar interests. Anyway, recently I've been reading through clinical depression. I've really had trouble leaving the house and socializing and performing basic human functions. This is not a question of how to fix these issues, and I have sought medical help over it. My problem is that she came back into the country recently and she told me she wanted to meet up and catch up on things, etc. We had to arrange today to meet up, and it sounded kind of like it was lined up a date, but nothing explicit. Thanks to my recent problems, I had really bad anxiety and was physically unable to go out to meet, so I sent her a message making an excuse. I suggested to rearrange it for a different day when I was having a better day. She asked if this was okay and if we just pushed up the meetup time to everything instead. Anyway, she seems to have taken this cancellation poorly since I did it that morning and didn't really give her a good excuse. It's been 3 days and I haven't said anything to her. My question is, how do I approach this with her, and should I try to pursue a relationship with this person that I definitely like? Thanks, Anon.
I think his condition, I mean, that's part of him, right? His anxiety, but it has benefits, right? Like, you can be really introspective and creative. Like, why don't I think he should write her like an exceptional love poem or something epic, right? That just kind of explains the situation, but in a very romantic style way that just really shows that, no, I'm interested in you. I'm not trying to blow you off. I'm just so nervous I'm going to mess this up that I was freaked out and I couldn't meet you, but I want to meet you. But I'm that might scare her away, telling her straight up. But again, if he like sends it through a romantic message, like your aura just overcomes me and I get intimidated, blah blah blah. Like he could make that sound really awesome and speak to her heart about this and get back in her favor.
Yeah,
That's what
that might work. I mean, that's putting it all out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
that's a
he
crash
has
or burn
to.
situation. That might work.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oof.
because yeah, and yeah, he's just nervous as hell, where he's like paralyzed and can't do anything. He just needs to attack it, then or tell her straight up how he feels, and that he needs to meet up with her. If he really, and if she came back into the country and she contacted him and she wants to meet up, dude,
That's true.
he should have gone. And he definitely shouldn't let this go now, because that shows that she's interested in him. So
yeah, I write her something nice. Listen to this guy. I have nothing. I have no input. He's right. Boom. Next one. Wow. Okay. Let's go on to this next one over here. Nope, we already did that one. Hello, Neil and guest. I am 18 and I've really liked this girl off and on for about 2 years now, and I think I'm in love. When I can't take the feelings and can't get her out of my mind, I usually back away from the situation and not talk to her as much to try and get over her. But with us being in the same group of friends, it was hard to get out of her. It's hard to get over her. I've gone months without talking to her before, but as soon as we talk again, all the feelings come rushing back. She's just an amazing person. Anyway, a couple months back, I confessed I had a huge crush on her, and she kind of took it well. She didn't want to stop being friends because of it, and when I asked her if she ever liked me back, she said maybe, and awkwardly let me down easy. This girl isn't one to talk about feelings, though. She hates to talk about feelings, so I'm guessing that's why she's like that. Months after this, and months after blanking her, our friend group went on a booze-filled holiday. During this holiday, we got really closer than I've ever been to her before. We did stuff like stay up until 5 a.m., talking just the two of us, hand-holding, cuddling, etc. The girl is sharing a double bed with her friend, who is also my best friend's girlfriend. We jump in their bed one night after some drinks, and we're all just laughing. They say get out after a while, but after trying, they eventually just jumped into bed with her. So it was me and the girl I loved with a couple. We ended up staying in their bed for 3 nights of the holiday, and during those nights I was spooning with this girl and holding hands in bed. After the holiday, she and her friends invited me and my best friend to go out clubbing. We kind of created this inner circle consisting of a couple, me and the girl I like, a couple and me and the girl I like, which is strange, I think, but obviously I'm not complaining. After the clubbing, we crash at my girl's house and it ends up with me in her bed with her, and we're cuddling again and flirting, and massively flirting a lot, and we end up going to sleep wrapped around each other, holding hands and such. In the morning, it's fine and all, but we're not together, and we don't talk like we're supposed to be. She said to me that she doesn't text first, and so that's the reason why we don't talk, because I don't want to annoy her. But when we do talk, we can talk for hours, and at other times she can be really blunt. To conclude, this is the closest I've got to the girl of my dreams, and when we're together, we have a really good connection, but when we're apart, we don't talk unless I message her with something important to say, which is either a great conversation or a short-lived one. Help me, Neil and guest, understand the concept of a woman or something, because this is hell confusing. Love the show, and big thanks for the help, dudes.
Ooh. So it doesn't sound like he kissed her. Did they even go for a kiss?
No, it sounds...
I know that like the standard society procedure is the man asks the woman. Has he done that? Has he like officially been like, hey, we should go out? Or has he gone and like tried to kiss her? It's like, I'm not saying you should just randomly kiss everyone you think you like, but it sounds like he's been cuddling this girl, spooning her.
Yeah.
I don't know. He would find out pretty quickly how serious she was if he went for a kiss and see how she reacts.
I agree.
And a lot of girls, they I don't I don't want this to come out in a negative way, but everyone likes attention from other people, and she might just like having you around as like a nice protective friend, and she doesn't really want to pursue a relationship with you. That's something you have to be prepared for, but not necessarily something you have to hope for.
Yeah.
Go for that kiss.
Some people, yeah, she might just be seeking companionship, maybe a little personal intimacy without necessarily the strings and attachments of a full-on relationship. That might be something she needs in her life right now more than, a boyfriend, someone that she can relax with and confide with, but, doesn't have to feel too attached to. Or, perhaps this is the sort of like, we do this at night, but then we never talk about it, and it's killing her as well. And maybe both of you are yearning for something more.
Yeah.
Talk
it out with her.
Talk it.
Like, try to get her, and it sounds like you're always around friends too. Try to get her alone with you and see what happens. Maybe she just doesn't want to do that in front of her friends, because it's kind of a personal thing.
As Mr. Wigwig says in chat, she may be using a heater. I've been there before. So be careful of that. She may be using you just for the warmth you generate at night. She could be a vampire. And that's why in the morning she just like, screw it, and walks away because, the sun.
A lizard.
Yeah, lizard vampire, something like that.
It's a lizard man. It's just running the government.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I think, honestly, he just needs to, like I said, try to get her in a situation where it's just the two of them hanging out. Nothing creepy, like maybe planned for like a nice day, like go on a hike together, or, not necessarily go to the movies because it's more of a date. I don't know what's around where he lives. Like maybe take her to like the beach or something. If he lives on the coastal area, or like a hike through the woods or something. Just something non-intimidating and non-standard date-like, just to get her in a situation with you where it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
Just as friends, and then just try to cultivate the relationship as just friends and try to be like her best friend, and then you'll know if she's interested in more than that.
Absolutely. That's the best advice possible. Just spend time together in a situation with no one else around, where you're kind of doing something together and you can get a chance to talk and really figure out what is happening.
Yeah, and like I said in response to another question earlier, it's like you have to be genuinely interested in her to get her to be that interested in you. So just find out everything you can about her, Start digging deep in those conversations and just try to have fun with her as a friend. Because if you really want a healthy relationship, you're going to have to be with that person, for the rest of your life. They're going to have to be your best friend in addition to being your partner.
That truer words have never been spoken. I've learned that one the hard way a few times. Gotta have your best friend be your partner. Let's see. Hi, Mr. Neil. My name is Redacted. I am 16 years old. I'm from Belgium, so my English can be a little, if you understand. I'm sorry for that. I really like the girl, but the girl has a boyfriend. The girl knows I like her, and she said that she likes me too. I was on a camp with her, and we kissed like an hour after her boyfriend left. Her boyfriend doesn't really treat her well as far as I know. She has a birthday party. He didn't come because he went to a festival instead. They fight a lot verbally. He is a liar because he tells her a story about he punches kids in the face, but the stories are so extreme that they are lies. I want to do something about it, but she won't listen. I want to see her happy, but I would like to see her happy with me. What should I do? How can I get her? I would like that you don't use my name if you understand. And I don't really care how you call us because I really want the advice. Thanks a lot, really. Boom.
And Mr. Redacted.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm glad I redacted that because he wrote it down. Hopeful advice. You don't give me your name if you don't want me to say it. Normally, I just read them straight through. This time I was like, well, I can see that he's 16. Maybe I'll just pull out the name just to be double sure. Just please don't write your names on these if you don't want them in public, guys. But interesting situation.
Yeah, that's something she has to deal with herself. She obviously likes you. I mean, but that doesn't mean necessarily, okay, let me be brutally honest. Just because she's kissing you doesn't mean she has stopped kissing him. So, yes. I mean, you have to respect yourself too. You can't just be, and you have to tell her this straight up. Like, if you don't want to be her thing on the side, tell her that. Tell her, no, if you want to continue with me, you need to stop doing everything. You need to break up with him. And if you don't want to be with him, break up with him.
Yeah.
And that's that, man. And it sounds like he's a really loving dude. And if she's not going to reciprocate that in full, he needs to move on sooner rather than later because he's got his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah. You don't want to be stuck chasing after a girl who's chasing after a guy. Because it sounds like he is not into her, but she's into him. And you're into her, and she's kind of into you, but she's, still chasing after Mr. Jerk who doesn't show up to her birthday because he wants to go to a festival instead.
Or maybe she's still just comfortable with this guy, her current boyfriend, and she doesn't necessarily know how to end it because she's a young girl too. It's like might be her first serious relationship, and she doesn't know how to end it. So
yeah, but either way, I would approach this with a self-respect situation. Tell her straight up that you're not going to be the thing on the side that you're not second place.
But also yeah, for sure. But he also has to there's a fine line because he doesn't want to make it seem like, oh, you're just nothing to me, blah blah blah. He needs to make sure that he's also stressing how much she means to him at the same time.
Yeah.
So that it comes off as the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Hi, Neil. I am in a DS recently. DS? D/S? What does this mean?
Domestic? No.
Dealing with breaking. Oh, I think this means BDSM. I'm in a something recently, been dealing with breaking my significant other, but they seem to be struggling. We use it fairly. This gets pretty specific into BDSM questions, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable answering these things on stream. This is the first time we've gotten here. They're asking for we're getting to this point. We're having troubles with our code words. Is basically how I'm going to sum it up.
Don't be respectful and have good code words.
Basically, I'm going to sum up the situation. He is being too careful, it seems, and he's not sure how to be less careful.
Oh,
is the situation.
If that's, I actually read something on Reddit recently, which was kind of interesting. I don't employ this, but other people who are more into the BDSM scene do, where they employ a green, yellow, red system, where if it's perfectly fine, it's green. If it's a little rough, but it's still okay, it's yellow. And if it's no fucking stop, it's red.
Well, actually, okay, I might as well just read the whole thing at this point. We use a fairly generic red, yellow, green system during scenes, but they mentioned having problems bringing up the yellow during the scene because they thought that I might take it as a red and actually stop. The problem is that she's bringing up, doesn't want to say yellow because she's afraid he'll think red.
Does he really like BDSM? Because if he does, then yellow should be go, go, go.
You know what? You just trust each other. Talk more. Yeah. More communication. Outside of that space, talk with them more and have that discussion of, okay, this really is how far I go. No. Trust me, I will say red when I want to say red. You need to have more just one-on-one time to communicate what your actual desires are, so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah. And if you're have an open relationship where you're doing that kind of stuff already, you should trust her enough that she'll give you the right calls. Trust.
Yeah. More communication, more trust. They kind of come hand in hand together. Okay, next question. Whew, that was a fun one. What's up, Neil and guest? Here's my question. I've been flirting heavily with a girl, weird Facebook dating, whatever, but that's not what this question's about. College is coming back up soon, and I'm only going to have maybe 1 or 2 chances to hang out with this girl again. I'd really like to impress her and leave a good impression, but I have a pretty low budget. See, college. Have any suggestions for cool low-budget dates that don't involve movies and pizza at home? Thanks in advance, Mr. Wigwig.
I'm terrible at dates. You sure you don't want to take her back home and just play some video games? And sure, it's not gonna work. No. Like I said earlier, Well, from what I've seen, girls like the outdoors more than guys. No, I'm kidding. Guys like the outdoors too, but it's like, yeah, going out, getting outside and like walking around is really nice because physical activity also stimulates mental activity. So you're gonna have like really nice conversations just walking around with someone, as long as you're like maybe, just walking around the woods or going to the beach or walking around the mall. Even you don't have to spend any money, but you can go people watching. Just be like, oh, look, go to Walmart, go people watching.
Oh, hold on. I think I misread something here.
Oh,
I've been flirting heavily with a girl. Weird. It's not Facebook dating. Friends with benefits / dating. I thought it was just. I misread the FB / dating as Facebook rather than the FWB friends with benefits. Sorry, I assumed typo when actually was something else.
And he's only going to see her a couple times. And he wants to express his desire to make it a more real relationship.
I'd really like to impress her and leave with her a good impression, but I have a low budget.
Oh.
All right.
It's more about like the conversations and the time you spend together than like the activity you are doing to augment your time together.
Yeah.
So, and what's available in your area is going to be specific to your area, and we're not going to be able to give you specific dating advice, but something unique that is not the standard dinner and a movie. It's just something that doesn't feel like a date. It's just you guys hanging out doing your own thing that's just you and her.
Yeah, I agree. What you were saying earlier about physical activity stimulating emotions and stuff is spot on. I recommend like hiking if you have places to hike nearby, or beach activity if there's beaches nearby. Something that's kind of outdoorsy and fun, but you can still go at your own pace. If you're going hiking, you don't have to like trek up the mountain really quickly.
Yeah.
You can take it at different paces, but it still gets your blood pumping, and you're kind of working together towards a common goal. Sort of activities are nice.
Yeah, and if you're doing something that it shows that you're more than just a lover. You're more of a partner whenever you're doing more things together, more general life things together, and you'll learn more about her in those type of situations than I think you would in like a normal lover type situation.
Or if you have,
go
ahead.
Well, yeah, if he wants to expand the relationship beyond that, then he needs to start incorporating the type of activities that normal long-term relationships do with each other. So.
Totally. Also, other good tips would be like going out somewhere in the evening and bringing your music playing device and like dance. Go out and find a private space to go dancing together. Parks, playgrounds, etc. Yeah. That gets the intent, and that shows intent, and it will leave a good impression.
And if you're making a fool of yourself, that's okay, because that's not the point. The point is to show that you care about her enough that you're willing to make a fool of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And only seeing her like 2 times this year, that kind of sucks, man. I would, if you're really interested in her and improving it, I would try to improve that situation as much as you can, because long distance sucks.
Yeah. Also, if maybe you don't have a chance to actually see her again, this is something that would leave a good impression, but you would get less FaceTime. You could make some sort of activity for her and or her friends, some sort of like scavenger hunt, or some sort of like puzzle that they have to solve together as a group, because that'll make them working on a project, but they're thinking about you the whole time, and it's going to leave them with a really good impression of you if you create some sort of like fun activity that they can just do for a short period of time. I recommend it. It's worked 1 out of 1 times with me.
That's 100%. That's pretty good.
Dude, 1 out of 1 is amazing. Okay, let's say it worked like 0.9 out of 1. Okay, there were a few hiccups.
Oh.
I assumed that everyone knew how to climb ropes, and so I left a scavenger hunt at the top of a rope attached to a tree.
Oh, wow.
And it turns out not everyone in the entire world knows how to climb a rope.
Yeah, so, especially if you're setting up that event for a bunch of nerds. Yeah,
so I had to... the phone call came down, I had to go climb the rope to get them the next clue. And then that was embarrassing. But look, it worked 1 out of 1 times, man. I'm still with the girl now, so Woo!
Yeah, because it showed your intent to impress her, which is more important than actually impressing her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Here we go. Hi, I haven't had much experience with girls. The other day I went hiking with some friends and I met an amazing red-haired woman. I immediately fell in love with her. She took me to meet some of her friends. Well, one thing... Delete. You know what? No. Undelete. I'm just going to block email list. Block sender. Your trolls are not appreciated. If you guys keep doing this, we're not going to be able to do love bites, you bastards. Can't have half the show be trolls. Hello. So I met someone in the night who had a unique character and personality. All right, well, that's our show for guy. The rest of these are all troll emails, so we're done with love bites for today, everyone. There are literally no more questions left, except for troll questions. So that's it. Well, thank you for being our guest. I hope you had a decent impression of the show, despite the
Yeah, it was fun.
unusual amount of trolls. Yeah. Do you have any last words? Any final thoughts? Any shout outs?
Just make an effort to treat your partner better. That's all. I'll shout out.
Right. Make an effort to treat your partner better.
Make an effort. Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, that's it for us on Love Bites. I will see you definitely on Sunday, possibly tomorrow. We'll see. See you guys later. Bye-bye.